Like, if you keep living in the present, you're never going to live for your future because you steady living in the same spot you've been in. Steady living in the same spot you've been in. Your future is more important than your present.
You answered that great, man. I'm going to give y'all some acronyms right now. She just said something. But FYI, GYF. For your information, guide yourself forward.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Guide yourself forward.
Yeah.
I must get out of here. I must get free. And in this mind is the key. My key.
I can tell you step-by-step actions that I got laid out. Those who fail to plan to fail. And a confused mind does nothing. When it comes to you doing people wrong, did you do it intentionally, or was it because you was in the middle of trying to find yourself and people got hurt?
It was both. It was both. I was doing it intentional because it was like I knew I could, like, okay, I'm talking to you right now, but I know if I stop talking to you, it's somebody else gonna be right there. Like, I think I was too caught into myself. I was too caught in myself, like, girl, whatever, you don't need him, there's plenty of fish in the sea, shit, basically, you know what I'm saying? And then it was a part of me, like, feeling like that. Also, it was like, oh, well, now that I think about it now, like, no, you really didn't know yourself, because if you felt like that, you done took advantage of a lot of good men. So now you're sitting there looking crazy. Like, so I think it was the best of both worlds. Not the best of both worlds, but it was best. I mean, it was both. It was both.
Okay. So now, speaking for me, I can't speak for everybody else. To me, even though your circumstances might not be what you want it to be, you are still in your glow when it comes to your presence and what you're starting to grow into. So the way you was moving back then compared to now, what's different, or what will be different?
As far as the question that you asked before that?
Yeah, far as like doing people wrong, and then how you just now said, like, you know it'll be another dude. The dude's gonna holler at you. Like, you ain't getting ugly. Like, most people in high school, you know, like, damn, she's bad. Damn, what happened to her? You ain't got that story. Right. So you still in the glow. So how do you decide when it comes to, you know, if a person is the right man, or if you should matter of fact, let me change that question. How do you decide if a person is the right man for you to give your time to and your all versus the person you just giving a moment to?
Okay. See, I learned when I was going through that little stage, I learned, like, you learn, because you learn, you can sit back and you would be like, dang, like, you can, like, okay, this situation right here, this man right here, this man right here, you can look at all, I'm gonna say 3. You can look at all 3 circumstances, and you can sit back and be like, damn, I did this to Johnny, but John was there, and Matt, he was okay, and I should have played him like that. Like, when you get older, you start realizing, like, you start getting more wiser. Like, no, you can't do everybody like that. That's basically like burning your bridge with somebody, like, because you never know what John, Matt, or James could have did for you. You know what I'm saying? Or what James, Matt, or John could have led you. So now that I know and I understand my wrongdoings, when I was doing it, it was like I will never do that. I will never do a man like that. Only because I know for a fact that I don't want to get done like that. So it's like you have to treat people how you want to be treated, and, you know, do them how you want to get done. Because somebody out here will do you the same way you did them, and it'll hurt the worst. So right now, at the stage that I am and the mindset that I am right now, it's like, for me to know and see, you can feel it. You can feel if somebody is for you or is not for you. You will put your time in somebody that you know is for you. It's like for us, they say we have women intuitions. I believe it. Like, if I meet a guy right now walking down the street and he be like, hey, how you doing? Or I meet him at the grocery store and he try to talk to me or whatever, I can read through him. Oh, no, I'm just going back. I'm not finna get him my number. Or, nah, keep walking, Jasmine. He ain't for you. Like, you can feel it. Now, well, I'm going to say me. Now, maybe because I didn't went through it and I know the feeling, I could just point them out right now. Like, they walk past right now. Nope, it ain't for me. Keep going, Jasmine. Or he ride past, beep his horn up. Nope, not at all. I'm good. Like, you can decipher who for you and who not, as far as men in relationship goes. Now, when it comes to anything else, you might have to pick and choose and, you know, do all that. But I think I got that in a chokehold, only because I done been through it multiple times to know who's for me and who's not for me, because I done got dogged. Not just dog. I done been happy and I done been sad with a guy, so I can decipher who's for me and who's not, I think, right now.
Okay, I like that. So, speaking of decipher, how do you decipher? I'm gonna say habit. Let's go back to habit along with this intimate relationship. Most people tend to have a habit of being scarred so many times, will go to the next relationship. They compare people, or they take the baggage over to the point where they don't fully give them themselves, and they don't know how to love and trust again. Where are you at when it comes to being able to trust and love again?
At this point, I don't. That's why I'm not ready for a relationship right now. I just want to be able to keep finding myself, so that I could be able to love and receive the love back. Because somebody could love you, but you don't love yourself, so you will never feel it. You will never feel it. They could love you to the moon and back, but if you don't love yourself, you will never, ever, ever feel it, because you don't love yourself. How can somebody love you when you don't even know? You basically don't even know what love is right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because if this man's showing you love, you don't know what love is. So how do you know that he really love you, or how do you know that he's really putting his all into you if you not putting your all into yourself? It could never work. So right now it's like I'm not looking, and I'm not trying to look, but if it comes to me, I will know. I'll know. But as far as it goes right now, it's just
Just all up in the grass for that. Let me see. Make sure this lighting is still cool for y'all. All right, got you. Got to have brightness out there. So, all right, moving on to priorities.
Yes.
How do you go about prioritizing time for self? And I'm not going to say time for your kids, but for the viewers, they don't know. How many kids do you have?
I have 2. I have a boy and a girl.
Okay. You're a mother of 2. How do you prioritize chasing a dream, which I like to say vision, I don't like saying dream, but pursuing your goals, being a most upstanding mother, and then having time for self? And what I mean by self is that mental you're talking about, strengthening your mental, rather that's reading, meditating, going for a walk, going to the gym, or going to sit downs and venting with someone you can trust. How do you prioritize it?
It's kind of hard to tell you how I prioritize it, because anything could pop up, and it could be, spare the moment. But for me, like, being a mom is a full-time thing, so you can never get out of that. You will just have to work your way around it. But the way that I do it is, like, my kids come first, so they're always gonna be in a point of eye to me. But like, if I feel the need to have to write something down, or if I feel the need to get on, my phone and look up research or do different things, that time is when they go to sleep. That's mommy time right there. Okay. Now, as far as going out and, mingling and going to this conference right here, or going out to eat or kicking it with my friends or whatever, like, I have to set, like, this got to be a week in advance, because I have to get babysitters together. I have to, get everything laid out. And sometimes it all balances itself, but sometimes it don't. So sometimes I could be able to do, my mommy time, my friend time, my studying time, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I'm not able to, because it don't all work out together. Sometimes it clash together. So it's iffy. It's iffy. I can't really tell you how to prioritize it, because sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't. You just got to work with what you got, to be honest.
Okay. How do you feel like, outside of kids, what do you feel like your priorities are?
Outside, my first priority, if I didn't have any kids.
No, outside of kids.
Okay, outside of kids would be me. Like, working on myself, getting my stuff together, as far as like working, trying to find what I really want to do in life, which I do know what I really want to do in life, like that.
Okay. So when it comes to you actually doing all that, and you said the relationship's on hold because you're still trying to figure out a lot for yourself. When do you see that happening for you? I know you say you know when you know when you see it, but everybody say that.
Yeah, you would.
I haven't found too many people that really did, though, because a lot of women still tend to pick the wrong men, and I've been looking like it was right there in your face the whole time.
Yeah.
So, and those are people that had that same response.
But I'm sure they know. I'm sure they knew. They just took that chance. I'm sure, because that's just like right now. If you seeing somebody right now, well, that's you, because you're you.
Don't
but I'm just saying, you would know. Like, if somebody walk past and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" You can look at her and be like, "Nah, I'm good, shorty." Like, I ain't going for
But
that.
that go back to what the kid said. We got a stronger intuition.
But women have an intuition too.
Yeah,
we have an intuition too. So if she's saying that she ain't ready for it, and if she's saying she a new, but she still picked the bad one, deep down inside, she knew, like, nah, he wasn't really for me, but let's see where this go. That's basically, I'm a woman, I know. So that's just like, if I say right now I'm not ready for it, and I see somebody that I might like or I might find attractive, and I really want to make it work or whatever, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So just because deep down inside I felt like this was the right guy and he ended up doing something, you know what I'm saying? Stuff happens, you know. Maybe that just wasn't the right one. Maybe he ain't gonna hurt you just like the rest of them, you know, just like the rest of them. Hurt different. Every hurt is different. So just because this one hurted you the worst don't mean you can't, you know, decipher the next good guy. He might still be good. It just might be something that y'all have to work on together. And that's another thing. Just because you going through something with somebody and you feel like, you know what I'm saying, like it's not working, you picked the wrong guy, sometimes you'll be able to work it out. Like some things are really workable. Like some things aren't. For me, the guys that I've been through, it won't workable, baby. Now, some other time, just because I'm not ready now, I might meet somebody. He might, you know, it might be a little confusion going on with us or whatever. It might be that type of, I could be able to work it out. Like, okay, well, I'm glad I ain't going through what I was going through with a guy. This something that we can work out, baby. We can work it out, you know?
But will you be basing that work it out off of what you previously been through? Or would you be basing that work it out off of you consistently gave him or her opportunities to open up or to be truthful and it wasn't working? You're like, no, we can't work it out no more. So do you base it on prior things you've been through and be like, no, this ain't gonna work out? Or do you base it off you having a conversation with someone first?
I can't say the first one because that'll be bringing your baggage over. So I'm gonna say the second one, like, but I'm not gonna let it continuously happen because you just said you continuously, you know, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna give you 3 strikes and you're out. And you're out. So because everybody not perfect. Like everybody is not perfect. You're gonna go through stuff. Like you're gonna go through stuff. It's life. It's life. Some people you might be willing to go through it with and you might find it comfortable or you might not find it comfortable or it might be worth it. Some people worth going through it with. Some people just not. You have to. That's what you really have to figure out, who worth going through stuff with.
That's why I can't let you not unpack that for them.
Yeah,
like
you have
that,
to,
like that shit real. That shit real right there. Like so like me, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm not the type of person that be like, don't. I do believe in the statement, don't take advice from people that don't have a lifestyle that you wish you can have yourself. But then again, that also kind of goes along with, you know, being envious. You know what I'm saying? So I don't envy nobody.
Yeah.
But I do respect experiences because a person can learn. Excuse me, y'all. A person can learn a lot from a homeless person on the street.
That's true. But they know a lot.
So when you just said that, like, unpack that. Like, what do you really mean by, like, the people, like knowing the people? I can't even word. I don't even want to put words in my mouth. But what you had just said, like, give the viewers some answers. Like, how do you really decipher these people?
Like
even
the
though
people that's like really worth going through it with. Like,
yeah.
Okay, like, I'm going to give you 2 examples. Okay, one example is a guy, I'm going to say a boy and a man. That's how we going to do this. Because a boy, you ain't finna do that with. But a man, you would take a chance on. So, a boy. Now, you date a boy that you think is a man, but he's not really a man. He a boy. Okay, he don't got his shit together. Y'all both don't got it together. But you're trying to build it together. Sometimes it's just not gonna work because that boy still has a boy mindset. Well, that man supposedly still has a boy mindset. Like, he's not ready for, you know, like the house and the bills and the, you know what I'm saying, the car notes and all of that. He's not ready for that. So you have to gradually grow with somebody. Now, do you want to grow with him or do you not? So we gonna leave the boy where he at because the boy not ready for what you ready for. Now the man's gonna come into your life. He probably might show you how to, you know, jot down some things or how to pay a bill or 2. Sit down and, you know, calculate some stuff up so you could be able to pay this bill. Y'all, you know, he might be working or something. You might want to, so you can, while he's at work, you will be able to do it yourself. Like, a man is gonna teach you. A boy is only gonna show you. A boy is going to show you what not to do when you get a man. He's going to show you, you know what I'm saying, how to work with that man when you do get him because this boy done already showed you stuff that you don't even want to see. Like, you wasn't prepared for it. Like, you have to decipher whether that boy is a man or a boy. Like, the things that I've been through, I've been dealing with. They've been men because they up there in age, like, you know, but they've been boys too. So it's like you have to like really, really decide if that's who you want to struggle with, if that's who you want to gain with, if that's who you want to grow with, or if that's who you want to spend the rest of your life with. You just never know. But for me, it'll be a man. Like, I done had so many boys thinking that they was men, but they wasn't ready for it. And I'm not gonna count myself out too, because like I said, I had my own thing going on too. I'm still trying to find myself. So I'm not saying I'm all the way a full woman.
Right.
So that's what I was saying as far as growing. Like, if you decide to grow with that person, then, you know, hey, so be it. But I'm not growing with no boy. I'm not growing with no boy. And that goes to when I said earlier, you're gonna know. Okay. You're gonna know. Well, I'm gonna know. I might not, but I think I will, as far as, you know, what I done been through, or how I done reacted, or how they didn't reacted to me. I think I could decipher that.
Matter of fact, that lead me to another great question. Man, I got so many stuff going through my mind right now, it's crazy. But before I ask this question, if I gotta ask it right now since you're on that topic, because some of my people, I asked the feedback on the podcast, they said that they felt like some things was bouncing off the wall. I think they just wasn't paying attention. So I'm gonna make sure I keep it in with you. I'm not gonna let my thoughts get scatterbrained. Knowing these boys from men and men from boys, that popped up the question in my head, like, did you, Jasmine, grow up with either your father in your life or any type of strong male influence?
I didn't grow up with my father, but I grew up with my granddaddy, and he was the ultimate top person that I still look up to this day. Like, and I think I didn't grow up with my dad because he was still a boy himself. You understand what I'm saying? But I grew up with my granddaddy, which is a real stand-up man. So as far as, and that's how I know as far as like a man, what a man should do and what a man's supposed to do. Because my granddad, he didn't taught my grandma a lot of stuff as far as what you're supposed to do with the household, with the family, with your kids, all of that. So, you know I did not grow up with a dad, but I did grow up with the father figure.
Definitely.
I did.
Did you spend most of your time with your like you grew up under his household, under his teachers?
All my life.
Okay, so now I can ask another question. It transitions pretty fine. When it comes to the people that you did pick, if you don't mind being honest with the viewers, what was it that you picked them off of? What did you base it off of?
What I was basing them off of was how my granddad, well, how he showed, not because he can't teach me how to be a woman, but what he showed with my grandma. Like, I was basing that off that, okay, well, maybe this guy will be just like my granddaddy, or maybe this one will be just like my granddaddy, or maybe this guy got, you know, the potential to be just like this. You know, I kept trying to find my granddad in different people. Just like they say, you kept trying, you know, like some women try to find their father figure or their dad and men, which I never understood that, because I'm like, damn, why would you try to find your daddy or something? But I understand now they were just trying to find, you know, the way that their dad was, how their dad handled them with respect and loyalty, or whatever the case may be. They were trying to find that in a man, and now I get it. Because now I want a man just like my granddaddy. Like, I want somebody to, you know, shoot.
Yeah, I think it's security. Yeah. But I also, you said one good word, and I feel like that is the very starting point to all failures of relationships. Basing things off of potential.
Yeah. That's where it messed me up at.
Potential will potentially fuck up your future.
Yes.
You know, so I would say what I do nowadays, and for men, they feel like I'm interrogating them. They be like, what the hell? Like, who you work for? What you doing, dude? I'm like, nah, I just like picking brains. I like know people. You know what I'm saying? Then when I ask females, they be like, damn, you asking me too many questions. Why you ask so many questions? And I'd be like, how do you have a conversation without questions? You know,
you can't know unless you ask.
And I talk to so many older women, like far as like 40, 50, 60. I like talking to what we call elders to get their experience. Like, what would you tell the young yourself? What would you tell the young me? Like, what's the difference? What was your falls and ups? And a lot of them today that's still single that date, I'm gonna say the ones that's 38 between 45, they still don't ask the questions I ask. Like, one question they finally ask up front, do you have kids? That's the first one. Are you married? You know what I'm saying? Now they starting to ask that. Before they never asked that, and they found themselves when they was young sleeping with married men, sleeping with people that had 3, 4 different baby mamas, but they saying they single and didn't have kids. When it comes to asking the right questions, do you feel you have an artillery of questions for the next person that comes across your path with the potential, and you will never know until you give that person a chance? Do you feel like they have the artillery of questions?
I have 3 main questions, like, if I meet somebody right now, my first question would be, what would be your objective with me? Like, what would be your, like, what do you plan on, like, where do you see us going? Because when you meet somebody, they have in their mind, like, if y'all want to date, if y'all want to talk, you know, I could be ready to, you know, have a conversation, to be ready to talk to somebody, and deep down inside, that the next person might be ready for the same thing, but you have to be on the same page. So my first question would be, what are you on with me? That'd be the first thing, because you have to know that, because that's in the gate. Now, if they steer you wrong down the line, that's because you didn't ask that question. Like, for example, if I ask somebody, like, what you on with me, and they say, you know, I'm ready to, like, I want to talk before I, you know, jump right back in, before I jump into dating, that's perfectly fine. You cannot get mad at that. You cannot get mad at that. Or if you ask and they be like, I just want to, you know, have sex, you know, you can't get mad at that, because they told you what they wanted to do in the beginning. That was my worst thing. When I was trying to talk a date, I never asked that question. But I always used to get mad when it didn't come out the way I wanted it to be. But I never asked what the intentions of the next person was. Like, you have to ask the intentions. Like, what are your intentions with me? The second question would be, like, where do you see yourself going? You have to have, like, you have to set boundaries, and you have to set, like, goals for yourself, but not for yourself. You have to see what somebody else's goals is, too, because you can't make it and you can't build without knowing each other. The third question would be, and how do you go about doing it? Like, do you see me inside of it or not? You know, because I'm not finna tag along or trail nobody if they don't see their self with me doing this together. You understand what I'm saying? Because they'll leave you behind. Leave you dead behind. You still in the same spot, but they done left you and gradually upgraded on to the next level. Okay. And you just still sitting right there. So those would be my 3 main questions. What are your intentions with me? Where do you see us going? And what is your goal? Like, where do you see yourself going? The second question was, where do you see us going? The third question would be, where do you see yourself going? Like, you have to ask those questions, because if you don't, the intentions, you will get misled. Their goal, where y'all go, you'll never meet it because y'all didn't talk about it. And then you will never know what they're trying to do because you never asked.
Man, that's 5 answers right there. That's back to back right there. Okay, so let me ask you this going into that. Okay, you get them questions out the way. They give you some straight up answers. Like, they didn't pause. They was thorough with it. How do you know if they telling the truth? Because
it wouldn't take them long to answer. It will not take them long to answer. If they knew that what their intentions was with you, it'd be right. When you ask that question, it wouldn't be get the fidgeting with stuff. Like, no, like, because they went into this the same way you went into it, trying to figure it out too. So their automatic answer should be right on head. They should be right with it. That's like, if I ask you, you're going to be right with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know where you're headed, you know what you're trying to do, and you know what your intentions are. Somebody got to think about it. Y'all don't need to be dating right now. Y'all don't need to even be conversating right now, because then y'all wasting time. Y'all wasting each other's time. Y'all wasting each other's time.
Which one do you feel is more valuable around time? The present moment or the future? And before you answer so quickly, this is going to be a tricky one. Most people, specifically our people, blacks, fall short in this area. And I'm not going to tell you how until I see how you answer it. So when it comes to time, do you feel it's more valuable and important in the present or the future? And what I mean by future, because I know tomorrow's not promised, but what happens when you wake up the next day, and the next day you keep waking up? You always only continue to think about the present or the future. So when it comes to time, do you feel like time is more valuable being in the present or preparing for the future?
The future, because I done lived my relationships and my life in the present, right now. Like, I'm not gonna say never, but I've learned that you have to live for the future. Like, you have to guide yourself forward. You can't just be living day to day. Oh, okay, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna do this, or oh, okay, I'm gonna wake up the next day and I'm gonna do this. Like, no, you cannot live like that. Me personally, I'm not gonna continue to live like that, because I see that it's not working. Like, if you keep living in the present, you're never gonna live for your future, because you steady living in the same spot you've been in. Steady living in the same spot you've been in. Your future is more important than your present.
You answered that great, man. I'm gonna give y'all some acronyms right now. She just said something, but FYI, GYF for your information. Guide yourself forward.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Guide yourself forward. Smooth.
Yeah.
That's pretty smooth. Guide yourself forward.
Yes.
I love it, man. All right, so look, my next question. Now I gotta give you a little bit off the topic questions based on my last podcast because I'm putting together a compilation.
Oh, and whoever was in his podcast before this,
Nikki,
I want to meet you. I want to meet you.
Y'all gonna rock with you. But I'm about to pretty much ask you what I asked her.
Yeah.
She said, because matter of fact, before it was her, I asked somebody at work. I asked them. I said, when it comes to being single but not want to be feeling like you out here when it comes to sex, how do you go about that? And her response was, I don't believe in such things out here. Like if I'm single, I can do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't ask Nakia that exact question. But she said, I'm not finna hold my body count. I got one life to live. I'm gonna make sure I'm happy. Now, I'm not telling people go out there, fuck around with a lot of people and all that. But I feel like if I'm not out here burning people, I'm not doing nobody dirty, then I'm gonna live my life. I'm not holding my body count. Tomorrow's not promised. How do you feel like that? How do you feel about when it comes to being single, focus, but them times you get horny? How do you go about it? Do you confront somebody up front, let them know this is all you want? Because they might want to be in a relationship after they intertwine with you, you know what I'm saying? Or you just stay to yourself and handle your own business personally. Like, how do you go about it, your own self?
Well, that's what I'm going through right now. But both, personally, because I don't got to have sex. I could,
please
fuck
yourself.
myself. Or please myself. I hope you be editing this, because I'm just cussing it all.
I cuss too. How you gonna tell my viewers and tell me? I said, sorry, auntie, be real. Nah, man, I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this.
I do myself. But you don't have to, ladies, you do not have to up your body count. Like, I'm sure you always got this one person that you can always fall back on and have sex with. But that goes to the question earlier when you asked, when I said the intentions. Like, when you conversate with people, like, you know their intentions. So I'm sure you know somebody y'all just got a sexual relationship. For me, it's that. Like, I'm not doing Tom, Dick, or Harry. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. And, sometimes you get tired of the same, what. So that's when I start to handle my own business by myself. If I don't want to be dealing with that person for, I'm going to do myself. Period.
True.
But, you do got to live your life. You definitely got to live your life. But for me, it's, it's always, like, I could always fall back on one person. Like, but then again, times is so nasty, and so you just never know the person that I'm falling back on. You just never know what that person doing. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta.
That's true. So now you got me. Now that brings up another question. People, I'm not trying to get off topic, but y'all know this. Y'all be want to know these stuff. I be want to know this stuff, and I can't just keep on saying how women think, men think. You got to hear from a woman. You got to hear from me, myself. So when my brother, I was talking to him, and a female told him, she said, and I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't know word for word. I wasn't there. But basically, she told him, you sexually attractive. I would love to have sex with you.
See?
But before I have sex with you, can you go take a test and bring me the paperwork?
Okay.
He said, hell no, I'm not finna go. He said, I know I'm clean. I go get a checkup every 3 to 6 months. But I'm not finna go out my way for one night or a couple of nights and get a checkup and prove to you that I'm clean. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
So I agree on his point. But then again, like, you need to be sure.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people ain't got the confidence to ask somebody to go do nothing like that, or even care to do nothing like that. So, what would be your advice to people to make sure they safe out here?
I say go get checked. Like, even if you're not dealing with nobody, even if they don't ask you, even if a woman don't ask you that question, like, oh, okay, well, go get checked. Can you get checked for me? They should. First of all, they shouldn't have to ask that question. Like, you should be able to. Like, you're supposed to go get checked. Like every 6 months. Well, for us, it's every 6 months. So I think for men, you're supposed to do the same thing. So when somebody asks you that type of question, you're supposed to already be able to pull that out anyway. That's just like if a man asks me right now. I want to be in a sexual relationship with you only, but I want to make sure that you're clean before we start doing this. I can give you the paper for it right now. It ain't got to be. It could be within those 6 months. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be. Matter of fact, I just tell them let's go together. We can go together.
That'll work.
But when I was saying before that, I always have proof because I always go get myself checked anyway, regardless of the fact. But
I'm finna be on some ratchet. I'm not trying to be too ratchet, but I gotta throw this out there now. Man, you know I gotta keep on spicing this podcast, tweaking it for y'all. I can't be so serious. But it's serious.
Yeah, it is.
You just said, we both can go together.
Yeah.
Let's make up a scenario. What happens if me and you, we go to a doctor? You know, I already know you clean. I'm thinking I'm clean. I come off like I'm clean, and then I come back positive chlamydia. Do you disown the person that you went with, that you want to have sex with, after y'all done had conversation, all talk? Or how do you look at that person now?
No, I wouldn't. And I would still mess with that person. Why? Because he took his time out to go get checked. That was the point of going to get checked. That was the point of asking that question, so you could be sure. Okay, you got to take them pills to get that little shot or whatever you got to do, baby. I'll wait for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you took that step to what I asked. Like, you made sure that you didn't give me nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, yes. No, I'm not going to disown you. I'm not going to do any of that. Like, I'm just going to wait them a couple days, and then, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to disown you. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. You figured it out what was wrong, and we're going to work through it together. That's the whole point.
See, that goes around priority right there.
That's the whole point.
I salute you. A lot of people can't do that, man. Like, they ain't mature enough.
Yeah.
So I say right now, everything that you're saying right now comes from a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, because we wasn't thinking like that when we was young.
Sure,
and we still in our 20s.
I would have been like, no.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So moving forward, how do you feel about, how can I say this? I was talking about in the last podcast too, Nakia, and I was talking to this lady about that waiting period. How do you feel about the waiting period when it comes to having sex with somebody? Is there really such thing as a waiting period, and how do you know when to let someone have some sex?
Cause baby. Then I didn't think about it like that, like, you know, get into that goes to when I said I just want to get to know a person first. But anything happens. I'm not gonna put a date. I'm not gonna put a stamp on my stuff. I'm not gonna put an expiration date or a start date either. So whatever happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever happens gonna happen anyway, whether I give it to you now or then. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, we grown. I'm not finna, I can't have sex with you and we're not gonna have sex until, 3 months, 60 days, or 80 days. Like, there's no time, because we could be chilling and anything could just happen, and then, there you have it.
Ooh,
so,
no, let me cut you off.
I'm not finna do that.
The chilling and the happening, that part too. That's when the kid kind of make me. Hey, I'm saying right now, you kind of made me mad when you said that. Not really mad, but it's like
she triggered
come
something.
on, really, man. Yeah, she triggered. There you go. That's the proper word. She triggered something. So, cause she said pretty much. You said she like, I'm not finna. Nah, ain't no way. And then I talked about, okay, we both entrepreneurs. You got kids, you got work life.
The schedule.
The schedule.
Yeah.
She said, and it's like the mind games of a woman. She basically said, if I'm fucking with you, if I got that mindset, let's bang, then yeah. Or if I've been talking to you for a while and we done had sex a couple times, then yeah, we can put it on a schedule. But other than that, no, if I'm just meeting you and we talking, then we establish that's what we want to do, it's not finna be, all right, let's meet up Tuesday, we're gonna get it in. She's like, no, we gotta, like, it just gotta randomly happen. It gotta be like on some movie type stuff, kicking it, do you wanna come in and all that. I'm like, really? Like, that was back in high school when niggas, they come to the crib, bottles, smoke, woo, and then get to, yeah, those are like, come on, I don't wanna go through that again. Why can't we just be straight up? Like, I'm attracted, you attracted me from first sight. It's like, ooh, I'll do that motherfucker. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying first, and you already know what you wanna do. When you,
So how do you feel about this schedule shit?
Yes, like,
would you schedule or you wouldn't schedule?
Like, I wouldn't schedule. Like, I'm gonna say, cause if we if we're in communication and we got, like, because before any of this, before the scheduling, whatever, y'all talking. You understand what I'm saying? The first instinct, like I said, y'all already know what y'all gonna do. So if I'm talking to somebody, we already got to understand that either we just gonna fuck, or we just gonna, we gonna be together, or we gonna work towards being together. So if we had already made a decision on fucking, since that's what we're talking about, and as far as waiting and doing all of that, no, there's no schedule, baby. Call me. Call me. Let me put the kids to sleep. Let me, you know what I'm saying? No, no, I'm not finna hold. I'm not finna do none of that. Like, we ain't got to do no schedule. But as far as like parenting and having kids and stuff like that, sometimes you do have to schedule. That's the only way you should be able to have to schedule something. That's what I feel like. Because me personally, sometimes I got to schedule, sometimes I don't. It depends. But I'm not finna hold. I'm not finna know.
Okay. And are you receptive to a person, like they say truth hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So are you acceptive now more than back then, or how, period? But let me shorten up the question and get to the question. Question is, are you receptive to a person being straightforward with you, saying that all they want with you is in Miss Lady words, a fornicationship? They just want this as a sexual relation. So how do you look at that? Like, do you feel like a person is just looking at you as a piece of meat, or do you feel like they just really being honest with you up front, and they give you the option to decide?
It's both. It's both, because they're giving you the option to mess with them or not. But sometimes you could just be looking for a piece of meat too. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't look at it like that either. But like I said, sometimes you could be looking for a piece of meat too. But you also gotta respect them. If they do tell you that that's, sex is all they want, you have to respect that. They're giving you an option whether to deal with them or not. Mm-hmm. So it go both ways.
Give the man some advice though. I ain't never asked you yet. And then after this, before we shorten up the podcast and get ready to go out, because a lot of the males say like, Brent, man, I feel like you on the female side, like you ain't asking them the right questions. Like, we getting some good stuff, but they ain't telling us how they supposed to treat us. They saying how we do them wrong and this and that. But okay, what about y'all? Like, what's y'all duties? What's y'all role? So we gonna get into that. But before that, to finish on this topic, so how is a man supposed to approach you in conversation about that?
As far as like when you
Sex.
when you first start, like as far as when you first meet, or
first meet. Let's say we at Walmart. That's like one of the biggest damn stores.
It is.
And I see somebody. I get their number.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we exchange numbers. Now we texting or we link up. Give me the both answers as far as a text, phone call, and meeting in person. How does a man from day one, so they won't waste another person's time, be upfront with you what their angle is?
Well, how I feel it should go as a man. Because if I was a man, well, let me put myself in the man's shoes for a little while. If I was a man and I meet a woman at Walmart or anywhere else, and I feel like, I want to be able to have a conversation with this lady, or, talk to this lady or whatever, I'm personally, before we even, we're going to talk, we're going to text a little while, but eventually I'm going to let her know. I'm going to ask the question first. What are you looking for? What are you trying to do? I'm going to see what she's trying to do first. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to, as a man, you have to see what her head at first, because you never know. Y'all could be on the same page. So I'm going to ask the question first. As a man, I'm going to ask, what are your intentions? Boom. She's going to let you know what her intentions are. As a woman, she's going to ask you that same question. She's going to ask you, so she's going to throw the question back at you. And then that's when you go from there. Like, okay, she just asked me this question too, and that's when you keep it real with her. You let her know. And if y'all on the same page, there you have it. But the first thing I would do, like I said, we're going to talk it out for a little while. I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to feel you out a little while. But then I'm going to ask you what your intentions are. Like, okay, you just met me. Are you single? Do you deal with somebody? You go down that route. Y'all men, y'all know what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But you have to ask that question regardless. Like, and I learned that as a woman. Like, you have to ask that question, and then you just go from there. As a man, you're supposed to though, and that's what a lot of men go wrong, because they don't ask that question. Like, and they lead us on thinking. Not lead us on because they didn't ask the question, but then you start gradually working to something that you don't even know what you're working towards. And that's when that's when us women start backlashing and doing all of that, because we never asked this first question. We never came together to see what we both really wanted. And that's where it happens. That's where everything falls down at. That one little question could tear up a whole friendship, relationship, all that, because you didn't ask. You didn't ask what the intentions were. So now we feel like, as women, like we just got laid on, like you just played us out some ass or something, because you know what I'm saying? You didn't ask. Like, and then when you finally say something like, oh, I think you tried to play me or whatever, well, shit, you ain't asked, so how did I play you? How did I play you when you didn't ask? How?
Damn, that's a good way to look at it. I ain't never look at it like that.
Yeah, man, just ask first, because if I was a man, I'd ask, and then she's gonna ask you that same question back. Once you ask her, she's gonna ask you back. That's just right. That's only right.
How do you deliver the answer though? If when the woman throw it back at him, what are you looking for out of this? Now, respond as a man? How do you respond? How do you deliver the answer?
It depends, because as a man, I could have, seen you at Walmart and I was just looking at your ass or something. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking at your face like, oh, she cute. I can see myself dating her, talking to her. I'm looking at the ass the whole time. So me looking at the ass is like, that's what I want. So you have to be like, you know what you want. Like I said, you know what you want when you getting yourself into it. So at that time, if you at Walmart and you just looking at ass, that's what you want. So when she throw that question back at you, you just keep it real with her. Like, yeah, I seen you in the store. You are kind of cute, or you are cute, or whatever the case may be. But my intentions with you is to get to know you, chill, have a little sexual relationship, and that's that. She might say the same thing though. You just never know. You gotta throw it out there. If not, you will never know.
But that's mature how you said it. I want to have a sexual relationship. Like, see the language. Yeah. The language is different. Instead of saying, I'll send you a Walmart and shit, that ass was fat. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see.
Right, you can't tell you looking at an ass, but deep down inside,
Some people talk like that, man. And then for those who ain't got an ass, like, man, like, shorty, and they talk like that. Shorty, I was looking at you. You know what I'm saying? You was looking good and shit. I'm trying to see if I can come through. You know, so we get something cracking. Right. Like, the language is different.
It's your delivery.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
So is it certain? Can delivery throw you off from a person? Can a delivery?
Yeah, it depends on, yes, because let me tell you the two different type of delivery. If a man come up to me and we talking or whatever, and he's straightforward automatically, like, I done seen you and I just want to talk to you. You look, whatever the case may be. He tell me he just want a sexual relationship with me right in the door. He letting me know what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? Okay. If I feel like that's what I want to do, and I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I can. What's the word? I can go with it. Okay, we cool. But the second one would be like, if you just come up to me and just trying to talk your way into something, like that's two different stories. Because now I feel like I'm a piece of meat now, because now you didn't play me to the point where you just got you some ass and you ain't say that in the beginning. So it's like, it's two different type of deliveries. Like, you letting me know in the door, or you working your way through it. It's too tight. It's too tight. Too tight.
Big fact.
Yes.
Big fact. I feel like, man, as I got older, women worked their way through the door with me.
Yeah.
I'm looking like, what the fuck? Like, damn, let me know the whole time. I'm out here trying to like establish something. I ain't really trying to fuck around like that.
See,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
they never asked that question, like, what are your intentions? And I'm sure you probably never asked that too, because you probably weren't thinking that's what they was into.
I'm always a thinker. It's like, but when I say they work their way in, it's like they still don't say it. So eventually, I just pull it out of them.
Right, you don't have to.
Like, it was this one female. I was talking to her. I was like, man, you said you wanted to sit down, and it's crazy. It's gonna be funny because everybody say the most freakiest people is church girls. So she was like, man, I want to know more about the Bible, but I'm not too much of this woo. I'm like, we can sit down and do Bible study. Like, I'm spiritual. I ain't religious woo. And we exchanged numbers, but we never used it. And one day I had to reach out, like, look, so did you, like, are we not meeting up because, and we was talking, like, well, being around, because we've been knowing each other for probably, like, 3 months. We never said nothing. We finally talked. We started having talks about, like, just religion, growing up, our goals. And I'm like, why we never link up outside of work? Is it because you find me sexually attractive that you can't take it? And she was like,
she can't be outside of work with you because she might have
she feel like, yeah. So that was gonna take place. So then I'm like, oh, well, I'm like, I felt the same way about you. I felt the energy from once the moment we started talking. I felt all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I felt all that. But I'm different. I'm king and light. So I'm on a whole nother frequency. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, if you a woman, I'm gonna talk to y'all too. If you a woman, and I'm not like Kevin Gates, so don't be trying to get horny when I tell you this. If you a woman and I have sex with you, it's damn near gonna be scary, because I'm gonna be 10 times more in tune with you. I can damn near feel you, know what you're thinking when you're going through, and definitely I know when you lying. So it's like, just imagine me not having sex with you, and I come talk to you and ask you certain questions. I'm feeling you off top. It's syncrecy. I'm in sync. But if I'm really in sync with you, it better be for the greater good. Because I ain't gonna get fucked up. You're gonna be fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can't fuck me over now, because when you doing something, I know you doing something. I'm not gonna speak on it. And if I do, and and it happened to me recently with this last female, and she called herself crying and stuff too, when I kept on trying to pull it out of her, like, what do you want? Like, what are we doing with this? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you know right now, I was at home, and I felt like I damn near wanted to come to work the next day and say, you know, I think I love you. But I had to ask myself, like, what the hell do I love? If I hit my line like that, you know what I'm saying? Woo, that we don't have sex like that no more. Like, and we only talk when we at work. So like, what's this about? You know what I'm saying? And that shit played left, but I felt that. You know what I'm saying? I felt it before she was not even telling. So my mom like, what the hell you crying for? I ain't tell her that, but my mom, what you crying for? You can't hurt me. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm getting myself to all times. So I just had to share that with y'all, man. I had to when it comes to dealing with sex, period, overall.
That's a hard man. You gotta be mentally prepared.
Everything revolves around mental.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So, all right. So what I said, I'm gonna get back before we leave out the podcast. I was talking to my other guests on the show, and I never got a chance to ask them what are the duties towards a man. I asked Miss Lady what does she feel like the roles of a woman is towards a man, and what's the roles of a man towards a woman. So I'm gonna ask you a little something different. When you look for a man, and I know you say you shouldn't look, but if you come across a man, what are the things outside of saying your granddad, because everybody don't know your granddad? What are you? Yeah, what would you look for?
The first thing I would look for is your approach, like how the approach will go, and then I would look at your presence, because. Well, I'm not gonna say that, because you could just be getting off work and you could be looking however you want to, you could be looking workish, and so I can't say that. So let me start over. The first thing would be the approach, and then gradually it'll be like how we interact with each other, like you could vibe, you could feel it. So then it'll be a loyalty, like how, like if we conversating, like are you constant with it, or like is this something that we do every day? And then it'll be like when you be around him, you will start to see like the different type of person, the different type of things that this person like, what this person do, how he interact with different things, how he approach different things. Like you have to look at the person as whole. So for me, it would be like if this person is like doing something with his life, like if he's working, if he's influencing you to do better, if he's good with his kids, because I have kids too. So if he's good with his kids, do he even mention his kids? You understand what I'm saying? Like, do he have his own? Because just in case you fall off, you might need him to come through. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it's different things. Like, it's hard for me to like pinpoint exactly what it is, because I don't want to pinpoint nobody, because I ain't got that much going on with my stuff right now at this moment. But I know deep down inside what I'm capable of and what I can bring. You understand? So it'll be more so of what he can bring and how he acts towards himself, like that self-love. Like I was saying, like that self-love, you're gonna see it. Like, and then it's like you have to hold men to a higher standard as women. That's how I feel. Like you have to hold you have to hold them, because they're a man. Like they're a real woman. But like I was telling Brent before, like, men are nothing without women. I feel like that. I don't know how nobody else feel, but I feel like men are nothing without women. So if I feel like you're above me at a time, because some men, you could be down sometimes, and the man could be up, and you could be up, and the man could be down sometimes. So I feel like you have to find that balance. Like if I can see the balance within that man, then I know he's for me, because he could balance me out. Like as far as like I said, you can see how he act with his kids, interact with himself, like his self-love, if he working on that, or all of that ties to each other, all of that ties together, because that's a man. A man is going to provide, a man is going to make sure, home good, the bills is good. You're supposed to do that too, but they're going to make sure all of that is taken care of. You just have to like sit back and help that man become a man, or be a man. So it's like it's hard for me. Like I said, it's hard for me to just pinpoint. But
you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I will look for the stability in a man, because I know a man's gonna look for the stability in me. Period. Like nowadays, you have to have that. Like you have to have that. And if you don't have that, you have to work towards that with each other. But like I said, that goes back to picking and choosing who you're gonna work towards it with.
Facts.
Who you're gonna work towards it with. But right now, I don't have a particular type of guy that I'm looking for, or a particular type of guy that I will date, because you just never know who you run across. So that question, I'm not gonna lie, that's the only question I won't be able to answer. But I hope the little sense, the stuff that I did say, pointed y'all y'all in the direction that I was trying to get to, because it's kind of hard trying to explain that, because right now, like I said, I'm still trying to learn myself. But I know as far as like, if I did meet a guy, I would know. I would know. Only because the stuff that I done been through. So that's a hard question.
Okay. So,
you messed me up.
No, I didn't. You handled that question.
You messed me up with that one.
You handled it. So, again, you all, so this is the podcast where we going over talking about the difference that you've learned from habits, relationships, and priority. From back then to now, what have you discovered? And what's been working for you and what has not been working for you? So, while we're leaving out, I want you to, like, I'm going to give you some rapid questions. I ain't never did this yet. You the first. And I want you to answer it as quick as possible to your best attention.
Okay, that's how you know you. Didn't I tell y'all that's how you know a person ain't lying? When you can ask, you can just go right into it. Nah, what's up?
She might catch herself up. Starting off with the good, around habit. What do you feel like is a good habit that you've established?
Speaking up for myself. Like I feel like I was doing too much of that at the time. Like that's my biggest regret is my mouth. But it's the way that you use your mouth. Like sometimes you could use it to speak good, or sometimes you could use it to speak bad. I was using it to speak bad most of the time, and that's how a lot of y'all, I'm sure, know me. Always on Facebook snapping, but I learned from that. Now it's like, I'm too grown for that, so I'm trying to humble my mouth a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be that. It'll be that.
I think that's the best way humble has been used so far out of my whole life. Humble my mouth. Because when you look up the definition of humble, you don't want to be humble.
Your mouth can get you in a lot of trouble.
But humbling the mouth is definitely good. Okay. What is, when they say relationships, what does a relationship mean to you? And what I mean by that, what does a relationship mean to you? This could be friends, family, or intimate. How do you go about establishing a relationship with anyone? Like, what is the necessities? What are your standards around a relationship? If you're going to be in a relationship with me, you're going to be considered a friend, a brother, a sister, or my lover, then you need to meet these standards. What are the standards around the word relationship?
You have to, like, a relationship with anybody. Like, everybody needs somebody. Period. So if I call you my friend, or if I call you, you know what I'm saying, my guy, or if I call you, whatever I call you, relationship wise, like I expect what you expect. I expect for you to be there if I need a listening ear. If you can't answer at that time, call me back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I need for you to be there. Not financially. It don't have to be financially. It don't have to be like, pull up every time I need you to pull up, but just be there. Even if you're there mentally. Like, I feel like a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships don't last because y'all mentally not on the same page.
I believe
y'all not on the same page. So I'm gonna need for you to, be there for me like I'll be there for y'all.
Real talk. All right. Prioritize. What do you feel like you currently have learned to prioritize, rather that's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, attitude, finance, family? What do you feel like you have mastered when it comes to prioritizing?
I would say when it comes to priority, what have I mastered? Yeah, because I want to really dig deep and figure that out, because that was a good question. I don't feel like right now, the only thing I could say that I've really mastered will be like pushing myself forward. It would be pushing myself forward, because at first it was like, okay, it is what it is. Like, it's going to get better, with time, but no, like I had to like push myself, like, and push myself and push myself and push myself to where it's like, okay, Jasmine, you did this to yourself. Like, you have to take ownership for your own action. And that's another one. Like, I started taking ownership of my own action. That's the only way you're going to be able to know you're doing something wrong and be able to, face it head on. Because if you don't, you're going to always blame it on somebody else. You're going to always, feel like it's somebody else and not you. So
face it head on.
Yeah.
You're the driver.
Yep.
That's the point of the podcast right there. That's the point right there.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, cool. So you answered all three of those. Now here are the rapid questions.
Okay.
One word that describes you.
One word that describes me is man.
Man. I told y'all I'm gonna be so this.
One word that describes me is like
holistically.
Okay. Damn. It would be one word that describes me would be I should just knock you out right now. It'll be the person that I am. It'll be the person that I am. Like I am like that. That's the only way I can explain it, because everybody that knows me, like genuinely fucks with me. Like whether it's like a friend, they genuinely fucks with me no matter what. Like if I wasn't the person that I was, and if I was the person that somebody else may have wanted me to be, I will never be who I am. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody fucks with me because of me. Like the way that I handle certain stuff now, or the way that I go about stuff, the way that I'm there for people when I, can barely be there for myself. Like I feel like that's my most. Me personally is my biggest threat to myself. It's me. It's my biggest threat, but me. That's what I was saying.
So you would say one word describes you as I am.
Yeah.
/ me. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. For me, it's love.
That's a good answer too. But why would you say that?
Why would I say love?
Yeah.
Because that's what I get. I wear it on my sleeve. I really don't. I personally, the way I look at love, I haven't felt it in abundance until I discovered self-love. Like my dad was there. My mom was in and out of jail, on drugs. My grandfather, he died before I was born. My grandma, she passed, 2013. And we didn't have a real relationship because every time I went over there, I wanted her to leave. I enjoyed the holidays and good times, but I ain't never really established a relationship. So love, I say, because that's what I always demonstrate. That's what I give to people. I let people F they self over. Even when they did it, I tend to find myself still trying to help somebody. I can't shake love.
That's true.
And I feel like that's what people miss the most.
That's true.
That's what keep me genuine. That's what keep me grounded. That's what keep me balanced. So love is me.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. What's favorite color?
Pink. My favorite color.
Favorite movie?
Loving Basketball.
Favorite song?
Greg Quinn, I Told the Storm.
I like that. Okay. Favorite night scene? Like when you want to meditate or relax, where at?
If I had a car, I'd be downtown, sitting at the little lakefront, baby. That's walking the little trail through that. That's the peaceful. But if I don't got that, I'll just take a walk. It could be around the block. It could be, just anywhere. Do a walking path or whatever. But yeah.
Okay. If you had a man, you was in a relationship, and you stepped out real quick, you was mad, and you came across a celebrity and they was really digging you, would you let him take you out that night, and would you cheat, or would you respectfully say no and just go about your day and go back to household mad?
You know what? To be honest, I wouldn't cheat. Because if I had to go outside just to take a walk or whatever, I wouldn't have did that. If I wanted to cheat, I would have just got on the phone, come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? And I could have cheated then. But if it took me to walk out the house just to go take a walk, that mean I ain't ready.
What if you drive, you was heading down to the lakefront?
Oh, okay.
You stop to get some gas and you want to bump into a celebrity or something.
I don't think I would cheat.
Would you let him take you out though?
Now that I probably would. But we not ain't no, cause cheating could be cheating. I feel like cheating is having a conversation with somebody, period. Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody, it don't have to be cheating, don't have to be sexual to me. So
no, you just cheated.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Well, then I guess I did just cheat.
Real shit. Miss Jasmine, you all, man, I appreciate you being on my podcast. Is there any questions that you have for me before I ask you to give them some tips revolving around your personal life as a kid?
Yes, I do have a question. What made you lead down this road to having this particular podcast? Like, what made you like, oh, okay, well, I want to make a podcast about this or that, you know what I'm saying?
Great question. So what led me to making this podcast specifically? Many people kept telling me to do a podcast. I'm like, podcast is gay. I'm like, that's weak. I don't finna do no damn podcast. They start showing me apps and all this. You can broadcast, you can blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what the hell I'm going to talk about? Because at first it was just me. I couldn't find nobody to interview.
Yeah,
and I kept on sitting there watching Breakfast Club, watching all these interviews, and I feel like that's what I'm engaged into. And Les Brown said, find something that you would do without money, and then money will come to you. So what made me start this specific podcast is back to that quote. Les Brown said, do what you can, where you are, what you have. I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to do a podcast. I don't have my own crib. I'm living with my brother. I don't have a car. At that time, I was doing Uber. I could use his car, but that ain't my car. I don't feel organic.
Right.
What can I do? And then one day, I just said, fuck it. I'm going to use his car, and I'm going to call it You're the Driver, because we all have the ups and downs in life. Nobody want to talk about the ugly. Everybody want to talk about the glory.
That's true.
So I said, I'm going to put this podcast together. I'm going to talk about taking ownership and owning up to your situation, stop being sad, and then I'm going to invite people on the show that I feel that are on that grind and going through real situations that are not afraid to talk about it. And again, I feel mental health and relationships is the biggest breaking point and starting point to all disrupts. That's what I'm going to call it, disrupts. Rather that's disrupting relationships, rather that's disrupting society by going out doing illegal things. So I started this podcast simply off of having my own drive and wanting to inspire, influence people. Like, look, you really can do it. You really can take something so small and expand it and grow it into something large. So this Your Drive podcast, it's gonna go on forever, because I feel like I said, everybody got them people like, hey, can you pull up? Can you just give me an ear and listen? And they sit in the car. So this is a relatable podcast. I feel like there's no other podcast out there in the world that someone can relate to, sit down and watch and listen to, and feel like they right there in the conversation in the car.
And me as the passenger, even though, you know, you're having people coming to the podcast or whatever, just to sit back and just listen to the questions that you're asking us, it gives me, like today, I'm just going to speak for myself today, it gave me an insight of my own stuff too. So that's good. I really like that, because you're not only trying to, like, you know, figure somebody out, but you're making us figure ourselves out as well. So, you know, that's I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you having me in here too, because you made me, you know, have I already did the questions I had already, you know, I was already mentally ready for it. But when you sit back and you're talking to somebody else about it, and you know, you giving your honest answers, it make you think, like, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, you know. Yeah.
And see, that's what counseling is. That's what mentorship is. That's what coaching is. That's what therapy is. It's basically helping an individual figure themselves out. And most people don't look at it like, why do I go pay somebody to just talk at me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not talking at you. People pull the pen and pad out. They take notes because they want to be able to make sure they're not putting stuff in their words, and then we'll give it back to what you said so you can dissect it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you can't dissect anything without lens or any type of tools. That's true. So the tools is your own words on paper given back to you in a structured, strategic way to make you think. Okay. And Earl Nightingale said it best. He said, they asked him, why do most people fail in life? He said, men simply don't think.
That's true.
That's why.
That's women too, though.
Yeah, well, men.
True. Well,
men.
Yeah,
mankind simply don't think.
Yeah.
So, man, again, y'all know how I'm rocking, man. Sharpen your awareness, cater your intelligence. This is You're the Driver podcast. I appreciate you all tapping in. Jasmine, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.